Hello, good morning, happy Monday. Uh, Hello, you all. Hopefully you're doing good. Hope we had a good weekend. I had a decently relaxing one, surprisingly enough. Sitsu, hello. And this week is like the usually the quietest one for like work time because it's kind of Christmas week. I think Christmas is on a Sunday this year. So therefore, it's most companies are just like don't have as much to do, and a lot of people take vacation, and it's great. It means that usually, even if we're at work, we get to relax a little bit. Usually, okay. So, what are we doing today? We're continuing on with our refactoring the DB queries to a module. So I was reviewing what we had here, and I realized, oh man, you know what would be better? Probably not going to do it, but what would be better would be a builder pattern for these queries. So imagine if I had a builder pattern for any query here. We set like the data we on it, and then we run like the update or create or um, get all, then we can just get all the stuff, and then you just set whatever you feel like on it, and then there you go. So I don't know if I want to like switch over to that completely, but I believe that we did the create user last time, and I was thinking about that as I was looking at this. The create default task for user is I need to get all the default tasks. Well, we have a get all tasks, but it assumes a user ID. And so if I don't have a user ID, then getting all the default tasks is like very similar, but not exactly. So what I'll probably do is just duplicate this and make it very similar to this one in the video. But I might mention at the end that there's some alternative ways to like do this that make it even cleaner. Banzi, hello. Cool code, but where are my tests? You mean these? Yeah, so we wrote this all with integration tests here. So I don't necessarily have a bunch of unit tests inside of the code base, just end to end tests. But I feel that if you have end to end tests, uh, and this is like sort of a personal philosophy. It's uh, end to end tests trump uh, unit tests. As in, like, if you're only going to have one type of test, choose the end-to-end test. Thank you, Manzi. I know we wrote these tests a long time ago. These were tests for the like back when we first started doing the courses thing. We built the tests. We built everything in Node.js essentially, and then we did the front end course with you, and now we're doing the back end course with Axum. But we're using the same set of tests, which is really nice because it means that our back end is guaranteed to be exactly the same API as the front end, or sorry, as the front end, as the original backend. So the U app will work with this just as well as everything else. Okay, so I think we're about ready to get started here. Sylvie is uh, hanging out underneath a chair, just sort of staring out into the rest of the house. Verifies that the final user gets what they're supposed to. Absolutely, yeah. And not only that, it's like confidence that we're delivering what the user is supposed to get. That's kind of an important thing. Okay, so we left off in create user. Specifically, we had just finished refactoring this one. So this is next. All right, let's jump into a video and let's finish this. We only have 2.5 files really to go through for this. All right, let's do this. All right, a new day and a new more refactoring. So when I left off, now this was a few days ago, but we had just finished refactoring the create user. So let's move on to the create default tasks for user. So something I've let's see. So we want to get all tasks, but these need to actually be truly all tasks, but with the is default field. So if we take a look at this, if I just copy you and we head into our task queries, now we do have a get all tasks here, but I realize that this get all tasks requires a user ID because this is specific for get all of my user's tasks. And it kind of made me realize there might be better ways to do these type of refactorings. I'm not going to do it specifically this way right now, but if you wanted to experiment with maybe some like builder pattern type builder pattern experiments here, those might be an excellent way to create sort of a global query that can handle all the different ones. In this case, I'm going to continue on with just functions. So let's throw you in here a pub async function get default tasks. So you're going to take in stuff. Now we know we need to take in the database. We don't need to take in user ID, and we don't need to take in get deleted. So this might be all we need. We're going to turn a result with a vec of a task model and an app error. And let's take a look. Okay, so we have default task here. So I'm just going to return you directly. Okay, so we do task find. We filter by the column is default. We make sure that it's true. We get all of them. We await that. Okay, and this is, okay, so that's correct. We await that. We map the error. Error getting default tasks. Internal server. Okay, this is error, just the same error, right? Error getting default tasks. And there we go. Okay, so we save you. Get default task can now happen inside of here. Pass it in that DB. We await it and question mark you. And then, okay, so now that we have these default tasks, we loop through them. We create a task and we assign it to the user. Okay. Now this task save. I want to say that we have a save in here, right? Yeah, save active task. We have a save active task. So I think we can take this active model and we can say save active task, pass it in the DB, and pass it in the default task. We'll await you and question mark you. Mismatch tab, expected an active model. You should be an active model, right? Oh, task. Sorry, wrong one. Task. There you go. Okay, it's a little bit cleaner. Sort of like we have some sort of logic that's happening that we understand here, which means we can move on to login. Okay, login. The first thing we need to do is we need to find a user by username. Okay, so find by username, and then we're just going to get one. So I think that might be a good one to put in here. So we have save active user. let's do a pub function find by username. So we'll have our database, we'll have our username, which is going to be probably a stir. I think it actually has to be a string, because I think that we have to give it a string inside of the CORM filter. We're going to turn a result with, let's see, so this is going to be a single thing. So it's going to be a user. What do we have here? We have just a user model and an app error. We can come back to here and come back to here. So I want to just take you and throw you in here. Okay, so users find filter by the username. Okay, so this is going to be username like that. Now equal. Okay, so we're missing some traits. Let's import you, and import you. It's not a double reference. We have to, pub async function. Okay, so we map error getting user by username, and then error. This is probably correct. I want to return to you. Okay, so what are you upset? Expected results, model found results, option model. Oh, okay. So because if we get one, it returns an option, and we don't actually guarantee the node that we have the user model here. Perhaps in find by username, perhaps I want to double check that our user equals this. I want to return this if, I know what to do. This is an option, right? We can convert it to a result with the okay or. So let's question mark you, and then we'll do an okay or else. If we have an error, we want to now return some kind of error, like an app error. Okay, so this will be status code not found. And now, should this really be not found? Not found usually means like the URL doesn't exist, like couldn't find that. But I've also seen not found used when it couldn't find the database. So maybe that's fine too. We can give a good error message here, which could not find user. Okay, so we return you. Okay, so that makes you happy. So let's go. Now we guaranteed that we have this out, and we don't have to handle an option in login here. So you are going to be get user by find by username. Find by username, pass in a reference that DB, pass it. Okay, so the username is the request user. Username, we're going to give ownership of it. That should be fine. We await and question mark you. And now we guarantee to have you. So we don't have to do this if let sum at all. We just know that we have you there, and we don't need you. Okay. Unmatched. Okay, so I don't think I need that one. There we go. Okay, so if okay, so then we verify the password. That's should be fine to do here. We could potentially, well, we have this verify password in a utilities file right now. So I think this is fine. We're calling it, we're doing sort of business logic here. We create the token, we convert this into an active model. So we can actually do that here, can't we? So into active model. Oh, actually, no, we can't. We can't do that here because it's a lot easier to get the password out. Well, wait. Oh, yeah, yeah. We need the hash, and the hash is in the password itself. Okay, so we then convert you into an active model and we shadow you. We set, okay, so we set the token on you. We convert active to model again. Oh, and here's a save. Okay, so I want to, oh, and then we're going to give this stuff back again. So we want to now save active task, save active user. Reference the DB user. We await question mark you. You return back a model, which means I don't need to convert this back. Then we figure out what a response is going to be. We get all that information, and then we send that back. Okay, excellent. What are you upset about? You wanted verify password, mismatch types expected, a stir, found an active. Oh, okay. So find by username is. Oh, I still have this interactive model. I don't need that. Okay, I think we're good now. Let's okay. That's login. Let's move into log out. With log out, okay, so we take in our user that we already got through the middleware, and we turn it into an active model. Okay, great. We set the token to none, and then we just save it. So we can actually do this as save active user. Reference the DB and ownership of the user, await question mark, and then status code okay. Okay, I think we're good there. And then oh yeah, we just have our mods, which are just our types. I don't think we need to worry about that. And then I think we're done. So let's we have 43 warnings. Let's take care of those next. Okay, so pull you down. Okay, unused self. So we don't need, I think a lot of these warnings are going to be in these unused. So let's remove, oh, this entire line. Nice. I love it when you could just delete full lines. Almost this entire line. You, and then what was this? Oh, query filter. Okay. That's all of you. More unused imports, all of you. All of you, not all of you. I think both of you as well. Okay. Okay, same thing. All of you. This line. Okay, the column trait and the entity trait and query filter. Okay. More unused imports. Okay, so this line, the status code, and then you, the entity trait, and the query filter. All right, you're happy? All right, so in create user, a whole bunch of unused imports. Now, can I? Oh, that'd be nice if I remove the unused import. Okay, so I can do that. Oh, nice. I can just tell VS Code to do all of these for me. Now it's doing them one at a time, which is not as nice. I have to click on it also, so like it feels like it's not quite as fast. I could just do them all here. Okay, so you active model trait. You're good. Oh, one last one. This function, convert active to model. We don't seem to need this one anymore as part of users because we're already sort of doing that everywhere else. So we get to remove you now. Excellent. A lot of code removed. Although we have some warnings still. Okay. Well, 2 lines here. Excellent. 3 lines. And that's it. Okay. And of course, finally, before we declare this done, we're gonna run the tests one last time, just to make sure that I didn't break anything horrifically. So, as I mentioned previously, there's plenty of ways to refactor this to be sort of different. The goal isn't necessarily to be as dry as possible, so not repeating yourself. Sometimes it might just be make it a little bit easier to refactor slash rewrite later when the business requirements change. In this case, there was a lot of sort of complexity inside of the files. Ooh, okay, so we got a 404. That's not great. This got what happened here? So we got could not find task by ID. So in could not find task by ID, that was in our task queries, right? Could not find task by ID. Okay, so that's in this find task by ID. And that was specifically in the test, gets a good error message when attempting to log in with a bad username and or password. So it actually wanted, so we gave the wrong response message. We wanted this. Oh no, it wanted this to be a 400 and not a 404. Oh, okay. So that was my fault. Okay, so in task queries, find task by ID, we want you to be not found, but bad request. And let's try that. And then we want you to be incorrect username and or password. So let's change you there too. And try this again. And that's the reason why we have these tests, is to keep ourselves honest and actually do a true refactor and make sure it's not an accidental rewrite. There is a slight difference in definitions between refactor and rewrite. A refactor doesn't change the functionality of the end product, and that's the reason why you might hear a lot of agile people or extreme programming people say that you have to have tests. That's just because how can you know? How can you be certain that when you're changing code that you didn't accidentally change functionality? Okay, so this is now in a different. Okay, so we got a couple different errors now. Let's fix these. Gets a good error message when attempting to log in with a bad username and or password. Okay, so same thing. We got a 404 and we wanted this to be a 400. This was okay. So incorrect username and or password. Gives a good error message when attempting to log in with a bad username or password. So in login, we do this find by username. I'm doing a bad request now. Oh, it's find by username. I want you to be a bad request now. And that. Okay. Now, we can try to fix some of these other errors too before we rerun. Should not be able to get another user's task. Okay, so we expected a 404 and we received a 400. And we wanted this to be a not found. Okay, so should not be able to get another user's task. So this would be in task, get one task. So find task by ID. I wanted, okay, so find by ID. This probably needs to be, no, not that one. Task okay or else. This probably needs to be a 404. So this is not found. And you need to be not found. Okay. What else do we have? Should not be able to mark other users' tasks as completed. So these are all just sort of errors. We expected a 404 in this one. Okay, so mark others' tasks as completed. So that's under update tasks, I think. Mark as completed. Come on, take me to the real one. Okay, so we find you. We wait to active model. Wait, this is still in. Okay, find task by. There we go. And we want you to be a 404 message, and that's it. So that's a 404 now. Okay, we're running into that we've already fixed it. Let's go ahead and rerun these tests and see if we've got them all or if there's a few left. I was sort of like in the middle of two different statements when we got those errors back. So now I've lost my thought process on both of them. But I think the general idea is that tests are good. End-to-end tests are perfectly fine. Don't worry if like the language for those end-to-end tests aren't in Rust. It's not an absolute necessary, and it doesn't really matter as long as the tests are easy to update, easy to understand, and exist, and actually test what you expect them to test. That's all that really matters. There we go. And now all the tests are passing. We have no errors, no warnings, which means that we are done. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this project is completed as far as I'm concerned. Now, are there ways to make this better and improve it? Of course there are. There always are on these type of projects. But at some point, we have to mark it as good enough to complete. This passes all the tests. I'm decently happy with it. We can extend it and add more features to it fairly easily if we want to, and we can come back and improve it more later if we really need to. So with that, thank you so much for watching through and hopefully following along with the project and learning Axum. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in future videos. Bye. Hello Stacking and hello Arkeens. Hello and good morning. It took me a little bit. You're sad this project is done, but on to the next thing. The next thing is going to be updating the U course to 0.2. So that's going to be a thing. But yeah, this course was fun. I like Axum a lot. Okay, so have all of you. Let's close all of you off. Okay, so we're good to go with you and you here. Okay, what's next? So we have the project. The project is done. I think I mean, oh, all of you are done too. Oh wait, no, you're not done. We need using the core. Okay, so we need a few of these little things here and there, and then we also need what? How did I? We also need for you. I want conclusion maybe. So conclusion, maybe like next steps. All right. So let's do finish the project. And this is this is part 2 of refactoring part 2. Okay, next steps. What's I guess like this is like thank you for taking the course. Next steps in your journey, obviously just like building your own thing. I have the U course if they want to check out that, and then also follow the stream. um so I think that's good. I think that's good. All right, so let's record this. Thank you so much for going through the introduction to Axum course with me. I hope that it's been really helpful for you to sort of get started with Axum and open your eyes to the wonderful world of web development in Rust. Now, this is just the back end, right? So we have, there's some more stuff that you could do if you wanted to. So potentially, if you want to go into full stack development, I have a course on Introduction to You. That's a front end framework built in Rust where you don't have to write any JavaScript code, and it's very similar to React. So if you want to have a fully featured front end experience to go with the back end, that's an excellent next step. Otherwise, just go out and build things. Have fun, build things, build useful things that like actually do stuff, do something. And if you do, we'd love to hear about it. So if you join the community at the Discord, then you can share off what you've built, and we'll all celebrate together us actually making things in Rust that we enjoy. So with that, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in a future course. Thank you. Bye. All right. Not having to touch JavaScript is kind of misdirection. Is that true? Because like I feel like you don't really have to touch JavaScript. Uh, that is that real? Um, because like I've been building stuff in I've been continuing to work on stuff in U, and I don't feel I need to touch JavaScript. Knowing JavaScript is helpful. Remember when we played with it, not everything could be done in U. I'm just trying to remember like what that was. Like like I'm not remembering like what it is that you can't do in U. You haven't touched it since the early days. There's a ton of things that you can do now. Plus, if you really want to use like JavaScript libraries, in the course, we even have it set up where you just pull in JavaScript into Rust, and then it's just Rust at that point in time. And you just call the JavaScript functions from Rust, and it's great. You have to touch HTML and you have to touch CSS. So there's still a lot of CSS, there's still a lot of HTML, but not as much JavaScript anymore. You should check it out, Stacking. It's a really cool project, and I'm really happy with it. All right, I'll leave this. If I get a bunch of complaints, I can re-record it. Okay, so those are you. What would be next? So that's all of these things. Okay, so you're done. You're done. You're done. Okay. Have I checked out the two new WASM projects? They're getting some real traction also. No, I haven't. Um, I think sort of my project list right now is I'm trying to build an LMS because I want to like I feel that I've proven that I can create like these free courses and they're okay. But I now see ways that I can make things a lot better course wise. And then I also see a path for making like monetization for some of the courses, but I need to do it in a different way to provide that extra value. And so the plan is I want to make that LMS, the learning management system, in order to like those ones will be the sold courses. And then I'll still do some stuff, like a lot of stuff on YouTube. All of the live streams will still be on YouTube. And that'll be fine. It'll probably be more like follow along projects on YouTube and like fun things on YouTube. Uh, and paid courses on the LMS. So once I get to that point, that's when I can start checking out some of the fun things, and all those things will go on, will be YouTube projects and stream projects. So, uh, long way to say not yet. I've been seeing like some references to these projects on Reddit. So I am looking forward. I wanna check them out because if they're good, then we can create like a little introductory like follow along with them or a full course depending upon how I feel about it. Okay, using the course repo. So using the course repo, um, it's a okay. So it's a full stack. It's a full stack repo. It's a mono repo that has all of the web courses, like the web follow along course in it. Specifically, there is the Docker file, and there's also the Docker. Hmm. The one is way ahead of you in SSR, so more people are getting behind it for that reason. Interesting. And you just released 0.2, which has SSR in it. So um, that'll be their sort of attempt to stay up with it. I'll check that out. I haven't really done much with SSR myself. So that'll take a little bit of getting used to like figure out how to work with it. Okay. Um, using the course repo. So using the course repo, I think is mostly going to be okay. So let's actually close you. And I want to go to what is it? I know this is off screen. It's my other terminal. So I want to go to code, Brooks builds, full stack course, and we'll open up code here. And this has everything in it. So this will be where our course is, where the lessons are, and where you should put your stuff, and then this Docker compose. So specifically, probably just want to introduce this. Do I for backend rest? Do we have anything? Okay, so I believe we do. I believe in data we have set up a local database with Docker. So we do set up that database in here. So I think this will just be a where to put, like where to follow along with your lessons. So fork the repo or not, like it's your choice, but like you can fork the repo and Rust Axum lessons. I have routing and data in 2 different sections, and then also a project solution under here. All right. I think this will be fairly, probably should be a fairly short one too. Let's do it. Before we dive into setting up all the code and setting up everything else and getting going with like a hello world, let's talk about the repository. So I have this Axum introduction course inside of a monorepo for sort of like, well, 2 courses really, the Axum one that you're watching right now, and then an introduction to U one, which is a front end for Rust. So if we open up a repository, all of the lessons and follow-alongs, all the code that you're going to watch me write, that's all going to be going into here. So in the back end, Rust, Axum, and then we have lessons. The lessons are broken up into sort of 3 different folders here. The Hello World one is the one we're going to be in for, well, this section right now. And then we're going to have data and routing for those specific sections. At the very end of the course, we're going to have a project solution. And I'm writing that into this, well, project solution here, which is next to lessons. One way that you can use this course is to fork it into your own repository if you use GitHub, and then just sort of add your own folders and do your work inside of there. There's no problem with also doing your work outside into your own repository as well. That would just be aware of like port usages and making sure that you're matching them for any of the tests. So we'll get into those tests later when we get to the solution or the data side. But with that, I think that's everything you would need to know right now. Oh, I guess one more thing. We have a Docker Compose file. This is an older version of Docker Compose. Notice the Docker dash compose if you're familiar with that. That does mean that if you use this, you need the Docker dash compose command in your terminal. But you could just use Docker dash compose up, and it will launch a database for you, a Postgres database. They'll spin up all the data you need inside of it, and that should be good for you. Anyways, if you have any problems at all, please leave a comment in this video or the video that you end up having the problems in, or reach out to us in the Discord community and we'll see what we can do to help out. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Port issues. Still can't believe. Well, yeah, it's something I've run into a lot too, because I've just set this to be 5432 here, but it sounds like you had another Postgres installed, which I don't have Postgres installed. I think I have PSQL installed locally, but I don't remember have full Postgres. But yeah, it's maybe next time I'll just leave this, because if I leave this off and I just do this port here, it'll give you a random port on the front end. Or on the front end, it'll give me a random port when I run it, which may or may not be what you want. And you have to then check it every single time that you launch it. So I don't really do that very often. But yeah, that's the thing. That was a strange rabbit hole too, because the error message wasn't oh yeah, the port's wrong. Well, I guess because you had the other database there. So it was more of, hey, your database doesn't have anything in it. Good job. I wonder why it didn't yell at you that the database didn't exist. That's interesting. I wonder if that's an error we can work with. Okay, so that was this readme. So we got you and you. Hold on. Okay. I'm behind on renaming files. Okay. So this one was the sort of like next step where thanks for watching. And you are using the course repo. Okay. Okay. What's next? Introduction to the course. I'm sort of doing these in reverse, but it helps now knowing what's happened inside of the course. I did get sort of one sort of a confused, like I confused somebody with this why Rust, because I did it having programmed a bunch of stuff before to show off the reason. And so it was a little bit strange, like, hey, why are we starting with a whole bunch of code? Like, I want to start from scratch. And then literally the next video starts up from scratch. You kept on getting really awful error when you're generating the files you typed. Source database, which kept giving me a sudo issue, but you had full sudo permission. Oh, that's... Are you on like a Windows like subsystem for Linux or something? I've had that happen on that to me several times, and it's weird. Those things are weird. And then I have to like go into the Windows side or the other side. Oh, the problem was the slash. Oh no. Oh yeah. Yeah. Slash or that's so dangerous. Oh yeah. Because you were trying to do Mac does some interesting things. If you look at the sudoers file and you look at sort of like some of the behind the scenes stuff that they do in a Mac, they do try to protect you by saying like, oh yeah, you can only do sudo in like these areas, but you have like full control over those areas. And like slash is one of those special things which like kind of exists and kind of doesn't exist in a Mac. It's a little bit weird. Okay, so I think we could probably do these in order. So prerequisites. Um, so intro experience was programming experience, having created to do API in any language. I don't um I think that's okay, which goes into familiarity with so I'm gonna do okay, so we have JSON. I also want the viewers to have familiarity with HTTP. Just in general, like very 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 basic. Like like the response, like response codes, like 200, 400, 404, 500. I don't, that kind of stuff. Which like if you have created an API, you should have that, but I guess I want to call that out specifically. And then I guess the terminal. So um uh terminal slash shell. Um to run the tests, we need to have like super basic Docker familiarity. So um have Docker installed and basically just have Docker installed. I think that's good. And then also perhaps we can add this in stacking, um, to sort of prevent anybody else from having the same thing. Let's uh not not run a Postgres at the same time. Not run Postgres at the same time locally. Does that make sense? I'll explain that, but to me, this is like, don't run another version of Postgres at the same time as taking this course. Just shut it off. You can turn it on after you're done with the course because we're using the same ports, unless you change the same ports. So let's put this, unless you change the ports in the Docker compose file. There. That makes me feel better. And I think that should be good. All right, introduction to the course. I'm trying to think like what's going to be the real difference between introduction to the course and like what I have in the trailer. I don't think I really need this. I think we'll go with prerequisites, then we'll go into the trailer, and that will be these things. And yeah, that will be it. So these two things. Okay, let's talk prerequisites. Recording now. Thank you for showing interest in the Introduction to Axum course. Before we get into it, I want to talk about some prerequisites, some things that if you have or you do, will just make things a lot easier for us. So, first of all, I don't teach Rust here. So I do have like a lot of sort of introductory explanations of things, but it's not really good as a true introduction to Rust. So if you've never touched Rust at all, you haven't read anything from the book on Rust, or this is going to be your first experience with it, this might not be the best course for you. I would highly recommend starting with the book. So if you go to the Rust homepage and you just type in, click the Learn button, there is a link to the book. And that's an excellent sort of resource to sort of get started with it. And then we'd love to have you back here. On top of that, the programming, this isn't a good introduction to just programming at all. So if you've never programmed anything at all with any language, highly recommend you learn something. In fact, you could just go and learn the Rust from that book that I mentioned previously, and then come back here. Now, having worked with an API, so like some kind of web development, can be helpful, both front end or back end. It doesn't matter if you've produced an API or if you've consumed one. Just sort of knowing what an API is and the very generics of how it works can be very helpful. Also, having terminal and shell experience is really helpful. Knowing how to just navigate through the command line to launch our Rust projects, to run commands. Obviously, those are extremely helpful as well. We do use Docker in the project for this course. So if you're not going to be running with the project, well, it's not completely true because we use Docker also to spin up a database that'll be useful in the second half of the course and the project. And that will allow us to connect to and sort of like use that. And it'll be very difficult to follow along without a database set up. So having Docker installed and being just like, you don't need to be like an expert. You don't even need to be proficient at Docker. You just need to sort of like know what Docker is and have it installed. Another thing if you have Postgres running on your local system, be aware that running those Docker commands will start up another Postgres instance and will attempt to connect to the same port. Now, normally there'll be an error if you connect to the same port or not, but we have had a community member who accidentally had two versions of Postgres running at the same time, and it caused a lot of confusion. So if you do have a localhost Postgres running on port 5432, which is Postgres's default port, I would highly recommend either changing that in the Docker Compose file to be with just some other port locally, or just turning off your local database until you're done with the course. And then finally, familiarity with web devs type of stuff. And all I mean for that is what JSON is, how it looks like, the very passing rules of JSON, and then also HTTP response code. Sort of like 200 is okay, 400 is the user's fault, and stuff like that. And that should be it. If you know those things, this should be a perfectly fine course to go through and get going with. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the course. Bye. Okay. I realize that the no programming experience should probably be in front of the Rust programming experience, but whatever. Okay, so this one is prerequisites. Okay. The real trailer. So, hi Zilby. Zilby came over and he's sitting next to us. I have this camera, but I haven't set it up in a while because he hasn't been down here, but he's been. See if I can set it up really quickly. Hey, you want to look at that? Oh, it has a red light on it and everything. Let's see. Can I? Do you think this is going to crash? I hope this doesn't crash OBS. If the stream suddenly ends, that's because it doesn't like the cat cam. Cat cam, right over me. What do you think? Right there. He looks cold too. I can turn on the heater for him, but I'll probably do that after the stream. Bring him upstairs, out of the basement. Okay, so trailer. Okay, so the trailer is probably just like a very brief, like, here, look at all these things that we're doing. Or maybe all the tests. We can run all the tests. Oh, but I lost you. Oh, you had to jump in a call for a second. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I mentioned your name when I was planning the video, and then during the video, we just talked about, as part of prerequisites, that if you have a Postgres version locally, to either shut it off or go into the Docker Compose file and change the port. So I just mentioned that in that video. And so when planning for that video, I mentioned your name. Okay, so can I go into, so full stack Rust course. This is backend Rust Axum. Oh, actually, okay. So first of all, I need to project solution to start all of you. And another one. Okay, so you're going to go in the integration test, backend test, npm test. So I think I can show these off in the trailer. Chantilly, hello. How are you doing today? And yeah, so we got Kitty Cat Cam, and he's down here hanging out with us. I moved this like I've tried different positions for this little thing to see where he likes it, and this one seems to be perfectly fine. He's not too scared of the microphone boom arm anymore. Although if I move him and swing it over him, he'll be out of there really fast. You have to let Daps know that his 3 hours of us debugging made into a video. It's more of like the lessons. Like Daps did the most help there. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to really jump in. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I didn't mention it like, hey, here's who fixed it. I probably should have. So sorry about that, Stacking. Sorry about that, Daps. Okay, so we have tests for these. Okay, so this is not the hype trailer. This is just going to be just, hey, you want to learn Axum? Let's go find. So there's some. Oh wait, Axum doesn't have a homepage yet. That's the thing. I wish they had a homepage. Oh, that's not cool to have. Okay, so then we'll start here then, or we can go to here. Maybe just their, yeah, these document, this will be fine. So we'll have Axum here. We'll have the tests, and I think the general idea that I want to get across is Axum, introduction to Axum course, with not, you don't, it's for beginners or mid level. It's for people who just know a little bit of programming, are passing familiarity, and who want to get into web development with Rust. And oh, it's familiar with Tokyo. So, all right, let's do it. How do I want to start? Probably like an introduction to myself. Like, hi everybody. I'm Brooks from Brooks Builds, and I've created a course. Let's try it. Let's try it. Hello, everybody. I'm Brooks from Brooks Builds. I do a lot of live streaming. I do a lot of Rust development recently, and I've recently built a free online course on YouTube for introduction to Axum. Axum is a web dev API, so it's a server-side thing that allows us to build APIs for whatever you want in Rust. No JavaScript required. It's built by the same team who makes Tokyo, so it has complete 100% compatibility with Tokyo, which is really nice. And so if you're familiar with Tokyo, it'll be a breeze to write with Axum. But if you're not familiar with Tokyo, it's fine. We'll get you up and running, and you won't have any problems getting working with that. In fact, prerequisite wise, you only need a passing familiarity with Rust and sort of back-end web development and those technologies, like what HTTP codes are and how to program at all. Anyways, if you take this, I hope that you're able to learn. If you can take this? No. Okay, that's bad. That sounds terrible. I don't want like an if you take this. We love to have you take this. This is what happens when I don't write scripts and I just sort of wing it. Let's try it. Let's try again. All right, take two. Hello, this is Brooks from Brooks Builds. I do a live stream on programming and a lot of Rust development, and I've decided to make a course on Introduction to Axum, free on YouTube. Axum is a web dev server technology made by the same people who made Tokyo, which means that it has full async await features with it, and it's incredibly easy to use. In fact, you don't really need to know how to use Tokyo in order to use async await or Axum, really. So if you want to take this course, it's because you want to learn web dev technologies. You want to create a server that can be consumed by any front end, be it a front end created as a web, a web server, or just anything else that consumes HTTP requests. Anyways, we hope to have you in with the course and see you in there. Thank you very much, and happy programming. All right, a little bit better. I don't know how to do trailers properly, clearly. So I'm going to call this trailer. I think like if some things that I think can help out is like doing more hype stuff, figuring out like how to actually make things look good. I don't want to do like all the like just pure like pog face without necessarily following up with the same right energy for that, which I don't think I have yet. But I have been noticing more and more people are watching my videos than are people that like were previously watching and like subscribed. It was really interesting to see that number flip around and go from like, oh, like 60% of my viewers are actually subscribed to like a really small number, which I think is interesting because it means that more and more people are being shown that haven't seen the videos before. And it makes me wonder, makes me one like also a little bit concerned, like am I losing people, am I like creating stuff that people don't want to watch after subscribing, but I'm not really sure how to read the metrics to sort of like know what that is. So it's unknown. I also didn't have, I don't also in that trailer I didn't really put in the like the project thing, did I? That would probably be good to have it. I should probably do a third take. All right, let's figure out what am I gonna do for this. So trailer. Okay, so I want as part of this trailer, so introduction. I want what the trailer, like what the course is about. So, well, I guess like what's the problem? So usually with trailers and a sales type thing, what's your problem? So introducing myself. Oh, I should probably start with the problem up here. So the problem is, do you want to build a API, an API in Rust, but don't know how? Or do you want to, use Axum? Or are you familiar with Rust and APIs, but you want to build an Axum? Then we introduce myself. Then I introduce the solution. So I created a Axum course. And then I want some features of the course. So we'll be doing a survey. So this will be the course is built around a project. So the course gives everything around a project, a to-do project that is completely and 100% test driven. So I can move you over there. Okay, so let's try this. again. Take three. Do you want to get involved in web development and build API servers that can be consumed by any kind of web browser or a mobile application or maybe even other applications? Or do you want are you familiar with those and you want to build one in Rust? Well, I have built a course, and by I didn't even follow my own script, my own things. I went straight into the I have built when I'm Brooks builds. Okay, so let's try that again. Take four. Uh, Hello, I am Brooks, or from Brooks Builds, and I have a question. Do you want to build a web API in Rust, specifically with Axum? If so, well, I have created a brand new course free on YouTube that will allow you to do exactly that. So this course has been built around a project. Specifically a to-do application project. Now, I've created a course before on Introduction to You, which is a front-end technology, if you've seen that. And this is going to use the exact same test suite that we built previously. So we have a full test-driven backend that we're going to be creating, and it's going to guarantee that you can create a to-do application with local authentication and CRM with the database. At the very end of it, you'll be able to run those tests and ensure that you did pass, you did know that exactly what you're going to get. We also have a project solution as part of this course, so you can then follow along and see how I do things and potentially see any problems that you run into. We also have a community if you want to join to ask any help in. That's going to be in Discord, and we have a link to how to join that in the description or for this video. So anyways, I hope to see you there. I hope that see you in the course, and if you choose to do so, happy programming with Rust. Well, even if you don't choose to, happy programming. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you there. Bye. Are a little bit really weak at the end, but I think probably the best that I've done so far. Probably the best that I'm going to do without a actual script. This will be trailer. All right, so you're back here. Yes, you want to build a snowman? I want to try doing some web stuff with Rust again, specifically with the canvas, and we can build some snow stuff. We can do some snow things. Okay, so we've got you, and that's it. That is the course. So we'll be done with Axum now, until there's addendums that we have to do, which is the same with you. Okay, so this is finished recording. Push you on up. And we did that 8:11 a.m., which is okay. Well, that's nice. This also means that I can finally, after I put this on YouTube, make sure that it's all up and running properly. I can finally share out the trailer and the playlist and get This Week in Rust. Tell them about it. I've been eagerly awaiting, but you can only share a project with them once. So I needed to wait until it was done. But now it is. Okay, let's plan. Okay, so you're done there. You bring back this workspace. Okay, so I want add folder. What do we have in here? So front end. Okay, so Rust U. And then we have all these lessons and everything else. And so this is something that we learned from the U one that we did better in Axum. And then I can even do better than that by just having a single project for all the lessons as opposed to like breaking up into two. So this one was broken up into like every single one individually. I think let's add this in. Okay, introduction to you. So let's see. I guess we'll do videos, or like lessons. Video lessons. Updating to U 0.20. Okay, so part of this is going to be reviewing the changes. So reviewing the 0.20 change log. And then let's update. I probably want to do an update the solution since like the lessons is going to be a little bit too difficult for me to do because it's like each one is a project and it's going to get really repetitive really fast. So let's update the solution. And I think that'll be it, and that'll be an addendum that we throw into the course. But that's my alarm for 8:15, which means we are out of time today. But this shouldn't be too bad, right? Because we have our solution here. We'll have to start. Yeah, well, tomorrow morning I'll be back for this. I'll probably have to like just do some random little stuff to like get it working again because it's been so long since I've been in this project. And this was this is not really the first course. This is the first like good course. No, because the ECS course was good too. First web course. It's certainly the largest course. I think this is larger than even Axum. Okay, so this will be plan for next time. So course plan, course update planned for U 0.20. Yes, I know. Thank you. And sync. All right. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you all have a great rest of your Mondays. And I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time to continue with this. And we'll be starting to work on the update. And I'll probably do the same thing that I've done now, which is the single video, even if it breaks out over multiple days. And I'll just stitch them together because that actually isn't too bad. That's been pretty easy. And this Mac is actually surprisingly good at rendering those long videos. Remember, you can do it. Absolutely. I love it. We should create like a pun. I have a bunch of ideas for like projects we can work on. That would be like these follow along, just sort of like both learning, but also just like, hey, just want to increase your skills, just work on little projects. A little thing like that, like a collector for puns, and then a collector for puns, and then have an API that we can use a chatbot with to hit could be fun. And then we can ask for a pun, and it will give it to us. You know what? I had my kitty cat up there the entire time, didn't I? For all those videos, I totally forgot that we had him. I might want to re-record those. I'll think about that. Okay. I might need to re-record this next. Okay, so Monday we might be re-recording videos with kitty cats in them. Oh, that's all of these. Well, that's sad. Or edit the video. I don't know how to remove. I don't know how to remove that. So I don't know how to edit that properly. It would be like just a big black box over it. I don't think that will look good. Yeah. I think it'd be better just to re-record those. They're all pretty short. Refactoring. I think the big one was the refactoring one. Let me double check that. That one I did not have Zilby in it. Okay. So that one no Zilby. Thanks for watching. Didn't have it in there. Using the course repo didn't have. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for showing interest. Helpful. Didn't have it in prerequisites. Oh, I just had Zilby in the trailer. Okay, I just need to re-record the trailer. That's it. Oh, easy. Okay. Well, that's nice. Okay, so let me mark down. Okay, so this is gonna be you. Guess technically it's under my unplanned work because it's technically a bug. So re-record. I might even do this off stream. It depends upon how I feel and like how much time I have. But I re-record trailer and then moving on to this one is gonna be starting with the what is this? This is the review 0.2 changelog. Cool. Okay, so I've got those. Excellent. Well, now I can say I hope that you have a great rest of your Mondays. And I will see you all next time, which should be tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Bye.